I'm reading this book right now called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Where you are, you may not have as good of access to, the water may not. So it's just a very interesting conversation.
Very holistic.
Yes, very holistic. Your take on things.
Which have not been linear.
There's that for you.
Thank you so much.
They can be really cool. I say they can be. Welcome to More Coffee, Please. I'm Austin, as always. I'm here with a really new friend, but a good friend, Megan Hurley. I'll let her give her introduction before we kind of get into the conversation. But as always, creatives and entrepreneurs and founders of companies and thought leaders in spaces, we come together to have these conversations, as you got a little glimpse of just now. So, as always, over coffee, more coffee, please. We're here to bring a very insightful and beautiful conversation to you. Megan, if you want to kind of introduce yourself very briefly so we can get to this incredible conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, am I talking to the camera?
Yes, talk to the camera so that people can kind of get to know you and feel like,
okay, this is new for me. All right. Yes. Hello. I am Megan Hurley. I met Austin recently, just a month ago, a few weeks ago, and we had a conversation as though we've known each other for years. And I think that's what often happens when you align with other people, especially on a creative level. It's few and far between that when you meet people that, hate to say it, use this phrase, speak the same language, you can go there, you can explain things without over-explaining it, and you just get it.
Yeah.
I think that's much of what our conversation felt like a few weeks ago, and I was really delighted that you invited me into this space and your coffee shop and everything that you're taking on and trying to create in your corner of the world. That I think is really a special thing and a unique perspective on how to look at things. We think things now are so global and have to be everywhere all at once at the same time, and yes, maybe, but also how are you creating your corner? Whether it's starting out this big or this big, how does it look and feel for people that you want to serve? And I think that's what you do so well. I hope that I am cultivating that in my life too.
And I think you are. And we're gonna get to that here. So I'll say this, I'm really bad at sticking to the script.
Okay.
I am. I tend to but because you're here,
okay,
I want to respect the fact that I know you were excited about some of these questions.
I was.
Yeah.
I thought they were very thoughtful.
I got you. So,
yeah.
The first question is who she is, right? So, who are you before any of the business stuff, any of that?
Okay, so I thought about this question quite deeply because, usually I would answer it of I went here for college, and after college I did this, and this was my third job, and then this was my fourth job. But lately in my own personal life and kind of reflecting on the last couple decades, instead of my professions, which have not been linear, I've been going back to how was I when I was a kid? What were the things that excited me, fueled me, motivated me to try new things? And I've been really kind of going back to my childhood, and not in a way of sadness, more of in a way of how can I bring her to the present?
Yes.
And that's been kind of a fun little exercise in my head. So when I saw that question, I'm we don't have to list all the litany of jobs, but me at the core, and I think how I started formulating my visual perspective of things, and visuals are so important to me. It's when I was a kid and I was an explorer, and I you know, as you know, I have worked in essentially the beauty industry and doing things, you know, hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and, you know, I'm very into art and interiors, but that, what we think of as that, like, archetype of that type of person wasn't who I was when I was a kid. I was very much a tomboy. I was not a girly girl. I remember having 2 dolls. Like, they just didn't interest me as much as I love style and clothes and all that stuff. I don't know. Like, my hair was always really short. Yeah. When I went to grade school, one time I tried wearing a tie. Like, I just was a little different. Yeah. And I met some resistance with that. For sure. You know, I don't want to, like, say anything, you know, it was terrible or bad, but I just didn't fit into the mold of what I saw other girls being a lot. Yeah. But now it gave me, I think, a strength and perspective that has been, although difficult to navigate throughout my life, it really has formed how I look at other people and their unique character, and I appreciate it so much. Or, you know, how different people approach their home and interiors, or styling themselves with their clothes. Like, I'm kind of very open-minded about that kind of stuff, and not conforming to a certain way that we've been taught. It's more of exploratory, and that's very much how I've always been my whole life. And when I was a kid, and you know, it was just, I don't know, that's kind of who I am.
I love that. I love that you go back to your childhood first before you, like, kind of go to the I graduated from this school and I went, like, because I think when we talk about who we are, naturally, and this is something that I'm looking at with my children, is like, I have 3 kiddos, and it's like, when I look at them, this person that they are today is naturally the raw material of who they are. Right? Before we start trying to mold them and reconfigure and discipline and, you know, put all these constraints on them, that's who they are. And I think that's important, because I think you just hit on something to the core of, like, myself even, and that's, like, bringing my kid and my inner kid, me, to work. Bring him to play, right? Bring him to that space, because I feel like I haven't done that in a long time. So I think that's
I haven't either.
Yeah.
It's new territory.
Even in your creative space, you feel like you haven't played as much?
No.
Or, like, interesting.
No, because I started to become very disciplined, I think, at a young age, because of just some life circumstances. And I'm grateful for that, because I am a disciplined person. I am a routine person. I do find freedom and structure, but it got overused way too much. And then, to be quite honest, that backfired on me at certain points in my life and didn't lead to the best behavior and choices, because I was burnt out on how I was treating myself in my life. Right. So then I made some lifestyle choices that did not serve me well. But that discipline doesn't leave a lot of room sometimes for play.
I'm with you on that. I can relate to you 100%.
If you are that, you have a proclivity to be, like, routine, disciplined, your space needs to be a certain way. Yes, those things make you feel safe, but then it leaves you a bit rigid. And I have certainly been in that way of operating for many years, and I'm really trying to break away from that. It'll never leave me. I will always be like that. I will always be a disciplined person. Probably a little bit, you know, I like being motivated. For sure. You know, inspiration does a lot for me, and then I'm like, okay, now what can we do with it? But I need to, and what I'm working on is softening that cadence.
Yeah.
To allow me to, number one, emotionally feel my way through it, and be able to pivot where my gut is telling me to pivot.
Yeah.
And not do things the way I've always done them and or seen other people do it, and I think that's how it should be done because they are successful. Their map isn't my map.
Yeah.
Their pace is not my pace.
Yeah.
But for so long I've told myself, well, I gotta go in that direction. I gotta hustle like that. I have to. No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm relearning that. Which again, that kind of takes me back to like, how did I do it as a kid? You know, you played.
Yeah.
And I'm an only child, so a lot of it was by myself.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing and a curse too, because you learn how to use what you have and you don't get overly influenced by other people. You become very, very creative.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do things your way and nobody is countering that.
For sure.
So it leads to, well, I have to do things like this.
Yeah. So that's a great segue into the next question, which is growing up as an only child, being a creative person, someone who's kind of like, you have your way of doing things, also being disciplined. Does that mean you don't play well with others? And that would also include like maybe your husband?
No, I long to play with other people. In fact, I often, and this was something that I spent a lot of time thinking about when I had my own business, and my dearest friend in the world, Leah, was my business partner. I didn't want to do it alone. Yeah. I've done most things alone in my life.
I'm with you on that, yeah.
And it's not a sad thing, it's just how it was. So I think ever since I got into, my adult life, I crave partnerships. I crave, collaboration. I love a project that involves other people, which can go south very quickly, or it could be the thing that keeps you alive and motivated, and there's so much magic to it. So there's risk involved, but I do enjoy collaborating and working with other people. The only thing that gets a bit murky and I'm still trying to figure out is like, what is the end goal? And not that there's an end, but like sometimes when you get too many people in the mix of things, the purpose starts to get a little foggy and misty and fizzle out a little bit. And that's something I think we're all trying to figure out, because we all need to pull together, I think, at this point. But
for sure.
Yeah. But no, I enjoy working with other people, and in fact, sometimes and I think this is just a wound of mine that I'll carry forever, and I need to work on it. When I'm not included, I get really I'm like, what's wrong?
Right. I could have. For sure.
Yeah. But no, I like working with other people a lot.
Okay. And so two things. The first thing is the motivation piece. So I'm a firm believer. Motivation is a very fleeting thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so discipline is what I believe you should lean on more, right? So you have both of those elements.
Oh yeah.
But to kind of connect that to the next thing, which is your husband, right? And like building as a creative. Wale actually said it's really hard to be married to a creative and an artist, right? Because we're married to like our art and our creativity first, even if we don't know it.
right?
It's like that thing that really wakes us up in the morning.
You're so right.
You know, you get so, and so if you're married to someone who is not a creative or is also the creative, it can go either way. It could be we're both very, and then we come together, or we are very like this and then we clash because there's this kind of like the schedules are different, the systems are a little different, right? Or maybe he has an input on something that you have going on creatively, or vice versa. So how does that work for you all, especially because now you do have a business together?
Yes, we do.
At this point.
Yes.
So can you break that down?
Oh gosh, that's so.
That's going to help me some too.
It's very. It's a tender topic, but it's so close to my heart because my husband, my husband and I own a coffee shop in Massillon called Row Coffee. Very great coffee, locally roasted. We've been in business now for 5 months, and essentially decided to purchase. It was previously a coffee shop. We decided to purchase it in December. Signed papers December 31st, and in 30 days essentially flipped the business.
Crazy.
And it was the most exhilarating process I think I've ever been through. It was so hard, but I was also in heaven at the same time.
And you did the interior designing?
I did the interiors.
Okay.
My husband and I, so we have kind of a unique story. We worked together, almost 3 years before we even started dating.
Okay.
So we knew each other and our rhythms and what we're good at and what we're not good at.
Okay.
And, and even saw each other, and he certainly saw me go through some personal hardship, that I had to grow out of, and so we knew each other very well. And we not only did we work together, but we were literally in the same office. His desk was. So we worked at a salon and spa in Cuyahoga Falls called MC Hair Consultants and Studio MC.
I'm very familiar with them, actually. Funny
enough. So it was a large, and is still a large scale salon. I think at one point there were upwards of 40 employees to the whole company. And it is since the owner, Marcy, sold the business, and it is now 2 separate businesses. But when David and I were there, it was still all under her umbrella, and we worked very, very closely with her. So she, guided David and I. We both had separate things that we did for the business, but we had to work very closely. So we got to know each other very well, and I think over time you just can kind of see we speak the same language. We understand things, and we enjoyed our time together, obviously. Yeah. And then we started dating, and even at that, when we started dating, we took things very slow. It was a relationship that it felt natural, but at the same time, we weren't like rushed to do whatever. Sometimes you get in a relationship and you start thinking about marriage, and you think about this, and we're gonna fall in love. It's gonna happen tomorrow.
Absolutely.
We didn't. I think we did a very good job of taking our time. Yeah. And with that, he obviously knew I was more of a creative and could be quite emotional at times because that creeps in. Yeah. But he is also somebody, and I've never met a man that he can see things in people that he may see their challenges, but he doesn't judge them for that. He also has an amazing amount of patience, and he's a very graceful person. And for me, that just fit, because I think with my personality, that's very much what I require in a person, to feel safe.
Yeah.
And he brought that into my life. So when when I feel like very called to create, and I'm gonna start this and I'm gonna do that, and he's very supportive, because he knows I need that to feel like myself, and he really doesn't question it. It's funny though, when you ask, like, does it cause any tension in the home? And it doesn't, but it's lately, our relationship in our home has been so much about our business.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of 24/7, and I love it, but we haven't been talking a lot about my artistic pursuits, which fuel the business.
Yes.
But it's also a little bit separate from the business.
Okay.
So lately, I've like, I need this included in our conversation a bit more. And I truly value his perspective, and he always brings things into perspective really well for me, grounds me, but I want it to naturally come into our conversations, and it doesn't often lately, just because of the current forecast in our home. But we're working on that.
Okay.
I've voiced my needs
I mean,
very well, rather than holding them in and getting like contempt over them.
Yes.
And once I do voice them, he's like, I hear that.
That's beautiful. I think that's incredible, and I also think that you taking your time had a lot to do with that. I've been known to like be a hard charger, in a lot of everything I do, honestly.
What do you mean by that?
So like, there's no like, I'm a very patient person.
Yes.
But when I set my sights on something, I'm like, that's the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? So that could be a business endeavor. It could be romantically, whatever it is. It's like, now at my age now, and certainly in the lifestyle that I live now, I'm wiser to see like, oh, I need to be by myself. I need to be single, and just not single for single's sake, right? I love partnership, and I love building with people, but there's certain things that I require now that I didn't necessarily require when I was 20 years old. There's certain things that I require now that I didn't necessarily require when I didn't have 3 children, or my children are the ages that they are now. Very, very aware, and they have opinions.
They're little people now.
They are whole humans, and they will, like, my daughter Sophia, I'll give a better example. She was like, Rico lied. Rico's my little brother. He's the youngest of 4. He's 18 now. Sophia's like, Rico lied. I'm like, what did he lie about? I asked him if he had a girlfriend, and he said he didn't, but I saw him talking to a girl. Right? Very like sharp and like aware of what's happening, and like assessing situations in relationships.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
It's crazy, right? So I have to move very differently, right? Because if I'm on the phone and they hear a female voice, they're like, who is that? Who are you talking to? Right? My son yesterday, sitting in the back seat, he's like, Dad, I said, what's up? He said, I pray that you and Mom will like be happy again. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, because Mom said it's not always going to be like this because we're not together anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not always going to be like this. I don't know what that looks like in the future, right? I'm not saying we're going to be together, but we'll certainly be healthier and be able to like have a relationship, right, of some sort. And I'm saying that because there's certain things that I require now that I didn't necessarily require in the past. And for you and your husband, just kind of taking the time and the pace and, being intentional about that. And also like now the communication piece in your relationship, in business, all those things are like, they seem to come fairly natural to you, even if it's a little work. But I've seen it, the small things really like ruin people, right?
Yeah.
And really cause
yeah.
real friction in relationships and business relationships, you know what I mean? So the things that you're executing right now, I will give yourself a pat on the back, because it's like really beautiful to see it work. And like,
thank you.
Seriously, because like I said, I look at like meeting your husband, seeing how he was working in his business, and then you were like on the other side, like, and I'm like, this is dope. Right, this is dope. Like, I'm watching these two operators. Like, this is really cool to watch, because that's what I want. Right, I want to be able to have my company and have my wife doing this, and my kiddos. That's why my kiddos are here. They're learning how to make coffee.
Yeah.
My little brother, he's learning how to make coffee. He's doing floral vases and things like that.
Awesome.
Right, like, I dream to have every one of my family members in here thriving, making money, but also working together as a unit. You know, that's I think that should be everyone's goal at the end of the day. But before I get on that soapbox, I want to
that is a whole conversation.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And maybe some wounds from being a child as well, like you were saying, right? Bringing that kid to it, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
yes,
the creative mind, right?
Ooh.
What feeds you, and where does that inspiration come from? Because we talked about inspiration. You talked about like you like being inspired.
Love it.
Where does that come from? What is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You were ready. I like that.
I mean, I do think this new chapter that I'm dipping myself into in life, I just had this conversation yesterday. I do feel this.
Where's your mic at, real quick?
Oh, right here.
Okay.
Okay. I do feel like I'm going through a little bit of a breakup with my old self.
Good. Yeah.
And there's some awareness that I am definitely practicing in the new chapter. And the creativity and the inspiration, I can't explain it. I mean, other than now that I am, immersing myself a little bit more, a lot more in my spirituality, in God, in where I'm at and why. It's not coincidence. There has been steps that have placed me where I'm at, whether it's right now or at 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
And I am trying to walk with that awareness ingrained in me a little bit more and more. So when the inspiration strikes, when the idea hits, when I think it should look this way over that way, it's just my gut and my heart speaking to me.
So you don't look for inspiration?
Oh, I do.
You do?
I do. And I mean, there's certain areas that I go to for that, whether it's, giving myself some downtime to immerse myself in an art book, or visit a library, or watch a documentary.
Yeah.
Those are probably the top 3 things that I go to absorb new visual information.
Yeah.
And I know we were just having this conversation about social media. I use it as a tool sometimes.
Yeah.
It is not my go-to as a temperature check on what's going on and what I should be doing.
I got you.
It's not. I beat myself up for years because I'm like, I need to be more active. I need to show what I'm doing more.
Yeah.
I need to blah, 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 whatever the things are, and whatever AI tells you your marketing calendar should look like.
Yeah, right.
I can do it for other people.
Yeah.
And I do, and I have for my work. But when it comes to me, it's very seasonal. But the things that I do and engage in, I do think provide value to my inspiration, how my eye is evolving. Yeah, it's just, when I get on social media for inspiration, I get over-inspired.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's a great idea. A lot of great ideas.
Love it, but I look at everything and I'm like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Look what they're doing. That's so cool. That filter's awesome.
Yep.
Those colors are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it happens quick. Quick. Yes.
How do you take that and then sit with yourself and say, okay, I've got this project in front of me.
Yeah.
And I want it to look and feel like this. Should I be looking outward for that? Or should I be taking the cues from what I've learned over 44 years?
Yeah. Are you 44?
I am.
Did we talk about this before? That's not even real. That's crazy.
I am. I know. It's weird. I think I'm like 32.
Early 30s. Easy.
Yeah. But
we're the
no.
same age. I'm just going to say we're the same age.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because my husband, you know, he obviously knows how old I am. I'm 7 years older than him.
Okay.
But I'll say, you know, my age, and then he refers to himself as being in his early 40s. He's not.
Yeah, right.
But I think he feels like he is.
Well, you know,
He's like,
age.
I'm like 40.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel people will look at me and I either get like, think because they see the way I behave.
Yeah.
They're like, you're older.
Yeah.
But if you just look at the physicality, you're like, you're younger. But I feel like men age quicker, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
You know, which
Maybe.
is kind of unfortunate.
Fine wine, though.
Fine wine, yeah.
You get better.
For sure. I mean, and your husband, though, right? Like, I look at him and I'm like, this dude's kind of dope. Like, he has the streak.
Streak in his
The
hair,
streak is
I
super
know.
dope, and it's very confusing because you don't know how old someone is.
So true.
When they have the streak.
Right.
You know, it's like, you could be 20.
And he was when he started getting that. Yeah.
My grandfather had it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My grandfather went gray all at once. Like young.
Yeah.
Just all gray. He had the streak for a while, and then it all went gray. Well, silver more
That's
than
cool.
anything. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I took you off track.
Yeah.
So your inspiration, it sounds like it's a more authentic inspiration, and to the social media piece.
It has to be.
If you as an artist and as a creative, and this is to any artist or creative out there in the world, you have to find your voice. You know, you have to find your voice, and that takes time. Like this year, I've dedicated
so much time
to like expanding my palate, right?
Yes,
Tasting
yes.
new
I remember we
things,
talked about that.
right?
Yeah,
Because I told my kids, my eldest and my youngest are very picky eaters, and I tell them all the time, like, you have to taste it to not like it.
Yes.
Right? You have to taste it to not like it. You can't not like something if you've never tasted it or experienced it. So that goes from fragrance, that goes to textures. Like if you could say you don't like the way wool looks, but if you haven't wore wool, you can't tell me that you don't like wool, right?
Right.
So the idea is that if you try it once and it's not your favorite, come back to it later, you know, in life.
That's
once
right.
your palate is changed.
Right. Oh.
You know?
Yes.
So as artists, we have to find your voice, expand your palate, and then you can say no to everything that you don't like.
Sure.
Right? And prefer. This is the voice that I speak in. Tim Burton speaks in a very specific voice through his movies. Right?
I have to tell you this short story.
Yes, please.
Short story.
Please go.
I had this sweet potato sitting on the counter this past week, and it started to grow little things out of it. And it looked like a Tim Burton tree.
Yes, that's so good.
And then my husband and I started talking about it, and I'm like, I love that we know that.
That's his brand.
You know what a Tim Burton tree looks like.
Immediately in my head.
You know the colors of his movies. You know how much trial and error he had to go through to get to that point where it was so recognizable.
Yeah.
Is decades.
Absolutely.
Years.
And consistency. Not switching his take because something else.
Not switching it.
You know? Because something else was cool. He's been making movies for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, we were watching Mars Attacks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, my kid's like, what is that? And I start making the alien sound. Whoa. Hello. It was a very specific story with his voice, but he didn't switch his voice for every time. that a new thing came out, right? CGI
Right.
came out and different things like that. He wasn't trying to switch it up. So I think as artists and as creatives, the idea is that once you find your voice, it's not that you have to just, it'll evolve,
Absolutely.
but get clear so that when you're on social media scrolling and you get this influx of information and
Yes.
inspiration, you can filter through it and pick out the things that you like best, and you can utilize that information. So I think for yourself, that's kind of what I hear, is that you have a kind of internal filter
I do.
where you can kind of like, okay, a lot of good stuff, but this is where we're going with the thing. Like you're a coffee shop. It's very different, right, from the typical. It's definitely you can kind of give me what the inspiration was from, but I know when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is definitely its own thing, for sure.
Thank you. That's
Yes.
a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
The inspiration behind the interiors was, I'm trying to think back on the mood board I had. We were very attracted to mid-century modern, but at the same time there were elements within the shop that were like turn of the century.
Yeah.
More ornate type fixtures, very big chandeliers that really didn't completely align with the new direction I wanted to take it, but at the same time I'm like, this can work together.
Yes.
And I think that's something that's something in general that I genuinely enjoy with putting styles and looks together, is to fuse different timelines.
Okay.
And this kind of goes to what you were speaking about of, what I'm not going to hit the mark really, but when you observe different things in the culture and the design direction things are going, it's very easy to say, okay, that's what I want in my home.
Yeah.
Or that's what I want my business to look like.
Yeah.
Because it's been done before.
Yeah.
And it works and it looks great, so now I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I will take cues. I ebb on the side of wanting it to feel a bit classic. That's just visually what I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
But I like quirky.
Yeah. I get that.
And I wish that was something that more people would embrace, especially with their interiors. Because we all have a bit of quirk in us.
Absolutely.
There's some oddities lying somewhere. And usually they're visually interesting.
Yeah.
So why not extract those things and put it out there?
Yeah.
Rather than conform to this very specific style that feels fantastic and you feel like you are somebody on Instagram. I get it. Because it does, it looks amazing. But when you can add something into a space that you kind of have to look at it for a minute to figure it out, or like, why is that color? I love that.
Yeah.
And I do the same with clothes.
I've noticed, which you do a great job at.
Thanks.
Right? You do. Like you have these weird pops that come out, like the boots today, right? I think Seth Godin put out a book called The Purple Cow. You ever?
Oh, I've heard of that book.
Heard of it?
I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard of it.
Essentially, that's what you're describing.
Okay.
Right? It's like
I'll have to check it out.
in a sea of milk.
Absolutely.
Right? A sea of black and white cows. Be the purple cow.
I can see that. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not that you're not serving the same product, as we talked about. You can be in the same industry, but if you do it authentically, doing it in a way that's really true to you, right? If you like weird stuff and it's like this weird thing that you do, bring that out in the thing that you're doing, right?
Yes.
I think that's what makes things.
It's risky.
It's always risky, always risky. But I think the risk is always worth, right?
I agree.
It's worth it, right? Because like there's a company in the UK and they're a coffee brand, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But they have a brand that is, and they know who I'm talking about when I say this. But they only serve one drink, and I was like,
say more.
I almost want to do this.
Absolutely.
It's so
right?
cool. So they do one drink, and the brand is doing really well right now. But I'm trying to figure out a way to describe it without saying their name. Well, I'll just say their name. So it's Flat White or Fuck Off.
Okay.
That's the name of the brand.
Okay.
And I'm like,
so it's literally like, this is what you get, or
yes, that's it. Right?
I'm saying it in my head in a British accent.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But it always sounds cooler when you say
does.
it in a British
Yeah,
accent.
it does. But it's so cool. I love what they've done. And I was like, because I have a micro espresso lounge, I'm like, I was talking to my brother and I'm like, do I just do an espresso?
Right.
Right? Like, that is super risky.
It's so risky, but and this kind of goes back to the, like, you pick the one thing that's different, quirky, and you run with it. And David was really good about helping me understand this a little bit more, because I will fall into a trap of, what if this person doesn't like it, or what if that person, like, I want to attract so many people to it because I know and feel it's so cool.
Yeah.
I want everybody to experience it. He's like, I don't want everybody to experience it. I want the people that want to be here to experience it. And I was like,
yeah, he's on it. Yeah.
You know, so when you put those things out there that are a little different, it will not resonate with everybody, but it'll resonate with the people you want to work
100%,
with.
100%.
And it'll bring them to you and you to them.
Yeah, I think, and this guy, Seth Godin is one of my favorite people. So I reference him a lot.
Is he the guy that does the morning papers? He's like, every day he writes like 500 words or something, of whatever it is.
Doing like a newsletter for a long time.
Yes, okay.
He's like the grandfather of marketing,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Is it the grandfather or the godfather? I don't know. I mean, I guess they both work.
Both work.
Yeah, but he's wrote a couple books, Purple Cloud being one, but also he's the one, I say it all the time, but it's find your 20%, right? Uh-huh. You don't need 100% of the market. Find 20% of the market, hyper focus on them, and they will elevate your brand, right? You can build $1 million brand off of 20%, right? You don't need 80, right? That 80%, that's the people that go to the places that we won't name, right? They don't really, they're not for us and we're not for them. And that's okay. It's not a knock, but it is to say that if we can convert some of them, awesome, right? But for people that really enjoy small batch, that enjoy craft coffee, right? They're going to flock to us.
Craft anything.
100%, craft anything, yes. That want to support those spaces and that understand why we do what we do. That's our 20%, and that's what we need to focus on. Mm-hmm. So I think, I don't even know where we started with this conversation.
Well, and as a consumer, that is so much more of a fulfilling way to
100%
buy.
Yeah, to experience.
Yes.
Like, if you're a consumer, to consume something is to consume it and have an experience.
I don't think people stop to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're very fast paced, especially America. Like, we're really, really fast. And so convenience has almost become more valuable than the experience that you have when you deal with someone or something.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately, that's where we come in. It's like, I tell people all the time, like, my job is to interrupt your day, right? In the most graceful and compassionate way possible, right? Is that you're zooming here, zooming there, and then you come in here and you're forced to pause and stop and have a conversation and have a great cup of coffee. Yeah. It's like, that's a great reason to pause and be interrupted, right? And I've started saying this phrase, the power of inconvenience, because I think there is a superpower when it comes to inconvenience. If you allow yourself to be inconvenienced, or if you inconvenience others, there's a way to do it. But if you do it right, then there's things that you experience in life that you would not have had the opportunity to experience because you were so busy and focused on your routine and the rigidity, as we talked about, right? Being stuck to this way of doing things. So I think that's our competition right now, is convenience, right?
That's so true.
It's kind of, we want people to experience what we are and what we're bringing to the table outside of like the coffee that they get, right? It's the interaction with like when they walk into your space, being able to look like, wow, this is something, right? The same way people walk in here, it's like, wow, this is something here, right? And forcing them to have that journey and that destination.
Do you think people will end up recognizing that in their life? Do you think part of me, and I guess this is just a hope of mine, that we will go so far to one end of the pendulum, and I think we are starting to see this a little bit, even on social media. It's like the slow business, the slow life, the this, the that. I mean, whatever is trying to convey that to us, or
Yeah.
whether it's a marketing tactic that somebody came up with and they're like, oh, we need to start saying this.
For sure.
But I think there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm curious if it'll actually happen. I hope it does.
Well, we live in a cyclical culture, right? Everything will repeat itself and come back around.
Yep.
But also ebb and flow is a part of business, is a part of the culture that we are in, right? Some things are through lines, like fashion. I say this all the time, but fashion is forever, right? Some things will always be fashionable. There's always a way to tweak something to fit into a space, right?
Right.
Suit jackets will always be in style. How we wear them changes. So,
Yeah.
style, fashion, those things are not interchangeable, right? They're different, right? So I can have style, but sometimes my style will be not the trend of the day,
Of course.
right? So I might be a little out of sync with times, right? So when we talk about the pace of business and slow business, absolutely, I think we'll swing. So right now we're coming out of a very fast pace, right? Technology expedited things from like 2009 to about now, where like
Fever pitch, like
crazy, right? Just
Right.
zooming, and then
Great word.
Seriously, people have said like time, like a minute is not a minute anymore. A minute is now like 55 seconds, right? Like
Right.
time is sped up,
Right.
but it's gonna swing back. I mean, there's a phrase that I say all the time. The context is a little different, but I learned this quote a while back. But it's hard times make tough men make easy times make soft men make hard times. Right? There's going to be a cycle to it. Right?
I hope.
And we'll come back around. But I think finding I'd rather be either or though. Because the second thing to that piece is the beta region complex. So what that is that when things aren't good enough, aren't bad enough for people to change, right? So like you could be kind of complacent in here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And because it's not painful enough, or it's not pleasurable enough, you're not willing to change anything,
Right.
right? And I'd rather be here or here, because
I agree.
right?
And I know that it's a very fragile topic for all of us right now, of where our country is at, the decisions being made, what's presented to us,
100%.
what we have to endure. But truly, there's no other way to change.
That's it.
Like,
That's it.
I-
Now we see it.
yes,
Yeah.
and then what we do with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, growth comes from destruction. And so, do I wish for it to happen? No, but did it need to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I think people have been saying this for years. It's like, I don't think we're seeing anything that is new. We're just able to see it more clearly. So it forces us to confront that thing, right? It confront our own ugliness.
Right.
Right,
And
like-
you hit points of that in your own life.
100%.
It's no different than
100%.
your own self or the collective amount of people.
100%.
You
100%.
have to look at yourself and go, oh shit, this is bad.
Yeah, this is bad.
This is ugly. I
do we
can
do about it?
continue
Yes,
or I can change.
100%. What do I do about this now?
Yes.
All right. So I got two more big questions for you.
Okay.
So these are actually two of the best questions,
Okay.
in my opinion. So what project are you most proud of, and why that one?
Well, I probably, because it's still so fresh, but it felt the most fulfilling as my husband and I buying the business and starting our own business. And I'll admit, at first when he presented the thought to me, I resisted, not because I didn't think we could do it, but I was looking for a time in my life that was consistent and stable.
Yeah.
Because the last couple years for us have been quite unstable,
Yeah.
as it has been for everybody.
Yeah.
But kind of back to what you're saying about being married to an artist, it doesn't always allow for like clock in, clock out type work.
Absolutely.
And I was to that point where I'm like, we both need jobs that we can clock in, we clock out, we have a 401k, we have 2 weeks paid by vacation. Thank you very, very much, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's what I thought would be best for us.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let's buy this business. But, you know, we were able to travel with some family this past fall, and we spent some time, him and I, together and talked about it. Not even talked about it a lot, just spent time together. And,
Yeah.
and by the time we came back, I'm like, let's go. I mean, we don't have children, not really by choice. We've tried to have a family for many years now, but that played into it too. It's like, not that, you know, if we had children, I wouldn't have said yes, or if we did have children, I wouldn't have said yes too, but I knew we had been afforded some freedom that not everybody has. And even though financially it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How are we gonna, like, everything was telling me no.
Yeah.
We did it. We still have our home. I'm still putting food in our fridge. And I don't know that we need anything else right now.
Yeah.
You know, which when we consume what is being sold to us, we think it's a hell of a lot more
100%.
than what we need.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Yeah.
So we dove in and we did it, and it has had a lot of challenges attached to it between him and I. All good, just like kind of working things out and giving things time to settle,
Yeah.
which I think it'll take probably the majority of this year to do.
Yeah.
It's felt really good. Like, it's felt good. And so I would say us doing that has been years, if not a lifelong journey
Yeah.
in the making.
Absolutely.
Because we were equipped with past experiences, we were equipped with practical knowledge,
Yeah.
not just, you know, oh, we're dreaming of this. It had practicality attached to it, and we put those things into action. And he has stepped into a person that I'm now meeting.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He's
Yeah.
still Dave.
Yeah.
He's still my husband and an amazing son and uncle and all the things that he is. But he's this new person. And I don't know, that's amazing to watch.
That's dope.
There's no value attached to that other than magic.
Yeah. That's so
And I get
dope.
to witness it.
Yeah, yeah.
And hopefully he is witnessing me in some of the same regard.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, for sure.
So that to me is priceless.
That's awesome. That is absolutely incredible. I think that you said it perfectly in just terms of him like stepping into a role that wasn't assigned to him. It just kind of became, and being able to just watch it happen and observe that is incredible. So I want to actually reflect that onto you, which is, you kind of alluded to it earlier in terms of breaking up with yourself and also reflecting on who you were as a child. What has been the hardest version of yourself to become? And then, you know, are you that person yet? Or are you still trying to become that person?
Oh, I think the hardest version is the one I'm currently seeking. For sure. Because it's my true self, which I have masked, buried, conformed to for 20 years. That, yeah, there were glimpses of me in it, and I came out from time to time, but for the most part, it was aligned with what I thought I should be, other people's measurement of success. So extracting me, out of that is probably the most difficult but yet fulfilling journey that I've ever been on and currently on. But on the flip side, looking back at who I was 10, 15 years ago, I didn't think it was the hardest version, but it sure the hell was the hardest version. Because I was going against my grain.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think I feel like this is the most challenging from a standpoint of intention. But I think, and this is obvious, I'm putting this on to you, but I feel like this is probably the easiest version because it's a choice, versus before it was like you wanted to become something that you had no idea like that you could become.
I understand that.
Right? It's
Yes.
like I'm shaking things off and I don't know what I'm putting back on. Right? Like you're trying to try new clothes on.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you have a vision, I know I like this type of stuff and this is real to me.
Yes.
You know, I used to say I don't like jeans. And then I realized I wasn't buying the right type of jeans.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So the hardest version of myself was the version that didn't know that there was different type of jeans that I could try on. I just stopped wearing jeans. I was wearing jogging pants and cargos for years.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like I'm missing this whole side of myself.
Yes.
But I didn't know it existed. So I think it's like this gap. And I think that's probably the hardest space. And I'm only saying that to you to say that you come through as a very authentic and genuine person. And I think that is a part of you shaking off a lot of the stuff that you stopped performing.
Oh yeah.
You know, you started just showing up as you.
Yep.
And now you're trying to just refine it, which is tough, but it's easy because it's very intentional.
And it's fun.
Yes.
There's some fun. There's some play to it.
Absolutely. There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of a thing that stuck out to me over the last couple years, one of my tried and true books, introduced to me by my friend Leah, is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
And he mentions throughout that book several times in one form or another, ruthless editing. Ruthless editing.
Yes.
That the piece isn't finished until, not that when there's something more you need to add, it's when there's one more thing to take away.
Yeah.
And that philosophy, I think, is where I'm kind of at right now.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's not more. It's what needs to not even go away, just set to the side for now.
Yeah.
Or we'll revisit that later. Or maybe it just needs to totally go away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know? But I think when you approach work like that, design work, your own personal interior self, that is a good way to think of it. Is what do I need to edit gracefully and with love?
Yeah.
Because
but
that's
ruthlessly though.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
In a kind way.
Yes.
You know, not being too hard on yourself, not being too strict with other people, not being blah, 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 blah. It's like...
But I think kindness and niceness are different, and kindness means that I'm going to tell you the truth, even if it hurts your feelings, but I'm not telling you to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I'm telling you because I love you and I think it's going to work for you and it'd be better for you.
Yeah.
So when we talk about ruthlessly editing, it is coming to somebody authentically and genuinely, it's too many words, right? You're actually missing the point because you're trying to dress it up and be colorful.
Right.
It's too much, right? Just say it. Say the thing.
Yeah.
Keep it here. And you'll get your point across, and you'll be able to communicate this to more people, right? And that goes for any medium that we are in. But I love that ruthless editing. I love that. I have that book. I'll be honest. I've skimmed through the entire book. I have not read it in its entirety yet. You
know, to me, it's one of those books where you could open it up to any chapter, read it, and put it down for a week or a month.
I mean, Rick Rubin is a genius. So
he is, man. He is there's something special going on with him.
Seriously, he's very in tune.
He is.
I think that's probably the best way to say it. I think we all can get there. Right? I think we're there. It's just a matter of he's kind of shown up as himself for a long time. You know, to where you're at, where you're heading and where I'm heading. It's this just confidence in what's going to be and not trying to force things. Not trying to perform for people, just showing up as yourself. Like this dude walks around barefoot and, you know, not a suit and tie.
Always in a blue t-shirt,
you know what I
and
mean?
pair of shorts.
Yeah, and I think that's just the truest version of himself, and I think that's why us looking at him, he seems like a walking spirit. You know what I mean? It's like this dude is just like, but I think we all can be there with the intention of like, this is what I love to do, and I'm going to show up in this space and do the best that I can in this space. And like we talked about earlier, not attaching the thing to us. Like they're two separate things, right? Like if your goal is to open up a coffee shop, it's like not open up a coffee shop so you can compete with the rest of the coffee shops around you, but doing it because you and your husband just enjoy this experience together. And then people come because you guys make it that peaceful environment, you know? And I think that's what we're all kind of trying to accomplish. It's harder for us, I think Americans, it's hard for us to get there because we're primed to be in competition.
Oh yeah.
You know, from children, like everything is a competition.
Yeah, I just don't get into that.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be a part of my personality that's a little bit more in tune to it, but perfect example is like I would say I was a decent athlete in the sports I was involved in. But I was never out for the other team. I was out of how could I perform better.
I mean, that's a beautiful perspective, though.
So, I think it's no coincidence that the sports I am attracted to are usually sports where you're playing against yourself. I just am, because it's like, how are you refining your technique? How are you getting better instead of like ultimate strategy to the other team? It's weird. And I'm not a big sports buff. I love sports movies because it tells me a story about the team or the person and how they get where they get there. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's the ruthless editing, though. Right? That's a big part of that. Oftentimes, even like I'm a wrestler and a boxer, and you know, my brothers I coached my brothers, and my thing to them was, when you're wrestling, yes, there's an opponent out there, but ultimately this is a fight against yourself. Like, can you outlast that individual, right? Can you strategize enough that you put yourself in an advantageous position, or are you going to defeat yourself out there and get in your head about it, and you know, these different things. So it's a lot of mind games that I would coach my brothers up on, and my athletes up on.
So you're a wrestler?
Yeah.
Did you know that David was a wrestler?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that makes so much sense for you two now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually doing it. Right? We do jiu-jitsu and boxing 2 days a week, 3 days a week boxing, 2 days a week. But I say that to say, it's a part of my life, because to your point about just being competitive, it is about competing with the other person, but it's also about pushing myself to a space. Now, for boxing, for instance, I spar with some pros, and the idea is, this is not about me at all. This is about them. So the idea is to go out there and beat them up to make them better. So when I'm pushing them, if I know this person is getting gassed, I'm going to push you even harder, right? So I want you to get tired, and I want you to fight through that tiredness and still be able to hit me with a good shot. So the perspective changes.
Oh, okay.
Right? So like, if I'm looking at it from a Kobe mentality, it's like I'm trying to, it's everybody's lunch. Everybody, even my own teammates. Kobe was like that, right? Everybody's lunch out there. I'm going to win with you or without you. There's something to that, but then there's also a toxic piece to that, right? Which I think you're alluding to, in terms of like, one rather playing golf or like chess, where it's like really about your strategy and how you can be better. And so I think there's extremes to it. Then there's this middle ground where it's like, I do want to beat everybody, but I want to beat you And also, I'm going to tell you how to be better while I'm beating you. And I do that, right? When I'm out there sparring and I'm beating people up, it's like, yo, look, when I throw this jab, check it, and then maybe slip up under it and throw your jab back, or whatever the case may be, whatever that conversation looks like. But ultimately, I'm trying to make you better so that we're all better. I think there's an element to that when we talk about being competitive.
Okay. I understand.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I receive
That
what
is
you're
a
saying,
different
though.
way to look at it.
Yeah. Like, I want to beat everybody. I want to win. But I don't want to win so that you lose.
Got it. That makes sense. That makes total sense. I gotta think about that.
For sure.
That's gonna be my weekend thought.
That's the homework. Yeah.
Yes.